Joining us from the LA Galaxy and former TFC player Dan Gargan. Dan, welcome, my friend.
Anthony, what's happening? How are you?
Not too bad, Dan. It's great to talk to you again. And I got to tell you, Dan, I am so pleased and happy the way you have played this season. When I announced that you were coming on tonight, the Red Patch Boys wanted me to make sure that I say hello to you and congrats on a resurrected season you've had. What do you attribute it to, Dan?
Oatmeal every morning.
I thought you were going to say yoga, and I was going to say, I don't want to hear this yoga stuff, Dan.
It's been nice. Galaxy is a great organization to play for, so they've made it easy for me, and it's nice to be contributing to a good team.
But you know, Dan, I've watched you play a number of games with LA this year. You look relaxed, you look calm, and you look like a guy that has a lot of responsibility, and you're embracing it with this team.
Yeah, the way that we play, Bruce really embraces us on the outsides, on the wings, to get forward and join the attack. I think that everybody knows that the back four, your first job is to defend and keep clean sheets, but he also is pretty liberal with us getting involved, and I think that's been nice to be a part of. It's nice to have that option to get into the attack, because it's something that I enjoy. So,
Dan, safe to say that Bruce Arena will go down in history as the greatest American coach. I mean, the way this guy really manages his teams is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's certainly had some success. I mean, that's really everywhere he's gone. So I think the Galaxy have been lucky to have him for the past about 8 years now. I think something close to that. So 6 years. He's a good manager. That's for sure. I think he's proven that everywhere he's gone, and I've found it to be no different.
Gutsy comeback against the Rapids in Colorado midweek. What a great game. One of the goals, if I'm not mistaken, you fed across the Keene and bang into the net, and you started to claw back. Talk about that important win.
Yeah, well, that's a big win for us. Anytime you're playing against a conference game, it's the proverbial 6-pointer. So they came out flying, and I think that's certainly not the way that we wanted to start the game. But sometimes best intended plans get laid to waste, and I think that we had to show a different side of our team. Coming back from 2 goals down on 2 different occasions. So it was good. It was a real test of character for us.
Dan, this is a veteran-laden team. There's not too much you got to say before a game, in the locker room at halftime, or after the game, after a loss or a win. I think these guys are all on the same page. They've been through the rigors and the wars of MLS. They understand what it takes. But I think something is happening special right now, knowing that Landon Donovan has called it a career, that you guys have bandied together to make sure that this is a championship year for him to go out on.
Yeah, we'd certainly love for that to happen. And I think that's, those are the intentions at the start of every season. But to add that little wrinkle to it, it makes it a little bit more special. And, you can see the passion that he plays with and the desire that he has. Obviously, I've played against him for a number of years now, but to play with him and to have that type of caliber and that special presence on the field, it gives you an extra boost. And then to know that these are going to be his last few games and last season, it's exciting, and it makes it a little bit more intense, and it gives you that little bit of boost that sometimes can kind of sway the game and just push you on a little bit, and that's been cool to be a part of.
Dan, I've been watching this league since day one. You've played in it. You've played in a lot of different markets. There's a special player you're playing with right now that I believe is going to have a long, long career. That's the youngster in Zardes. Who do you, when you've played in different markets and different teams, who do you look upon that is almost at the same level that this youngster is at his career right now that you have played with before?
Wow. Well, that's a tough question. He has certainly found a lot of success this season, and it's really been at a young age. There haven't been too many attacking players that have come through this league that young that have kind of picked the game up almost as quick as he has. I think he had some. He played in a lot of games last year, and then was slated to obviously be involved this year. But I don't think Bruce was really too sure how he was going to use him, and he had some struggles earlier in the season, in the preseason, and then just kind of found a rhythm and found obviously a great player to play next to it in Robbie Keane. And I think that he learns and he picks up all that stuff really, really well. And I don't know if there's a young player that I've played with that I can say has had
the great combination of Donovan and Mike McGee when they played together for those championship teams. And Todd Donovan, to me, is like an Energizer bunny. He never stops. He'll give you 110%. He might not have the talent of some others, but these are the type of guys your team has. Guys that, there's some guys that have a wonderful amount of talent, but guys like yourselves and Todd Donovan that just bring your work gear to work day in and day out.
Yeah, I think Todd's a great example of kind of an MLS player that often goes unnoticed. And I think that what Todd and Mike McGee, you use that combination in particular. They're two very clever, intelligent players. They're not of the athletic pedigree of Thierry Henry or even Giuseppe Zardes, who we just spoke about. But they do the little things very well, and they do them consistently right. And that's a big thing in this league, and it's a big thing in having a championship team is doing those things well, and knowing that you can count on everybody else to do them. And that's been kind of something that we're able to do, and I think which allows us to kind of play the way that we play. We have a lot of confidence in everybody on the field and everybody that comes on to do their job and to be reliable. And that's certainly something that Todd and a number of other players on our team do day in and day out.
Dan, we just had on Ray Gaddis of the Philadelphia Union, and they're getting ready for a big game themselves against San Jose Earthquakes. And I know that you're born in Philadelphia, and that is a city that really demands respect from its players to bring it each and every time. It doesn't matter whether you're the Flyers or the Phillies or the 76ers, whoever. They demand that from their teams. I think we're starting to see that from a lot of different markets in MLS, Stan. You've been in this league a number of years, but when I look at Portland, Seattle, now TFC, LA, they want to get their money's worth. They want to see a hard effort week in and week out. And I think that's what's great about this league. A lot of teams and players don't take their fans for granted.
No, they don't. And this league, you can see it in the last, I'd say 6-7 years has really, really changed. I mean, night and day. And in Philadelphia, it was really, really special for me to see the Union join the league and Philadelphia to get a team, because I grew up in that market, and I know how much love is there for the game of soccer. And I also am a Philadelphia fan. To see that and to know that how passionate they are, I was overjoyed to really see the inclusion of the city and the market, and to see the success that they've had, to have them come in and now being, at a relatively young age to have a chance to win a ring in the Open Cup that's a big deal. And it's happening in a lot of different markets, and Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, Toronto to start. Really, I mean, Toronto really changed the perception of what it meant to be an MLS fan. I thought, that market was incredible from day one, and the Pacific Northwest has taken it a step further. So to see all that, it's special to be a part of. It's special to play in this league right now, because every environment you go to, especially with the Galaxy, you get a well, I guess in some places you'd call it a welcome. In other places you can, call it something else. But it's awesome to play in front of.